And creatively, we worked as partners to really find a way for it to land and for me to be able to share it and just have fun, which is really, I think, the goal in this chapter.
It began as another flashy launch, a new film, a new product line, pastel images, and Meghan Markle's distinctive soft voice welcomed visitors into her carefully managed world. But within seconds, something seemed wrong. Her smile did not quite reach her eyes. Her voice trembled where it once soared. What about her famously crafted expression? It cracked just enough for everyone to notice. Meghan Markle, formerly the master of media management, emerged on video looking nothing like the poised princess admirers had come to expect. She seemed exhausted, fragile, and on the verge of breaking. Then began the speculation. Was it the pressure from another struggling brand? The reaction from critics who called her jam premiere a Pinterest cosplay disaster? Was it anything deeper? Because beyond the soft focus filters and stage charm, another storm is brewing, one far more intimate and scary. Prince Harry is currently at the center of everything. Rumors of drug usage, whispered worries from royal insiders, and images that reveal stories that no news statement can erase. Those close to the issue say the once defiant Duke is crumbling, slowly, silently, and in plain sight. Something is off. From lifeless public appearances to robotic talks, the spark that once distinguished him has faded, replaced with faraway looks and fake grins. And as Meghan attempts to hold the pieces together in front of the camera, the cracks appear. Her brand, marriage, and public image are all under threat. No amount of Instagram filters can conceal that type of mess. This isn't simply about failing jam sales and royal drama. This is the story of a couple who were once on top of the world but are now embroiled in controversy, scrutiny, and potentially something far more severe. What about Meghan's tears on camera? They may have been more revealing than she had intended. Meghan Markle has always excelled at royal image making, seeming polished, confident, and unwaveringly poised. However, in her most recent product launch video for American Riviera Orchards, something broke. It wasn't just the style that seemed odd, it was Meghan herself. Her body language was rigid, her speech unnaturally quiet, and her eyes darted with something resembling terror. Not discomfort, but terror. For the first time, the woman who had built her entire business on control appeared to be barely keeping it together. Viewers were instantly aware of the shift. The camera perspective was cropped closer than normal, as if to conceal something. Her speech, while frequently polished and emotive, seemed curiously prepared, with sentences strung together as if they were learned rather than intended. And when she smiled, it was not the bright grin of a lady ecstatic about her next great thing. It looked forced, as if she were trying to appear optimistic while something inside her was crumbling. Online communities, which are often divided on Meghan's every action, found common ground. She doesn't look okay. Theories abound, ranging from worry about the product blowback to marital tensions. However, one clip in particular struck a chord. Meghan's voice broke briefly as she tried to describe the motivation for the brand. Her lips twitched. Then she blinked away what many thought were tears. Just a second, yet long enough to have an impression. Critics saw it as a public relations flop. To supporters, it appeared to be a quiet appeal. But in any case, it was a moment of genuine empathy in an otherwise neatly manicured campaign. Meghan's business may promote rustic elegance, but what was captured on tape was something genuine, sensitive, and perhaps disturbing. Was it nerves? Is it an awful day? Or was it something far more serious, like a quiet cry from someone seeing her life break apart? Prince Harry has always maintained a careful balance between rebellion and aristocracy. For years, he was regarded as the fun-loving party prince, the one who added humanity and humor to an otherwise staid institution. However, the charm that once made him popular among the younger royals has faded, to be replaced by something far more disturbing. In recent months, Harry's public outings have sparked controversy for all the wrong reasons. The gleam in his eyes has dimmed. His talks, which were previously passionate and conviction-driven, now seem robotic and empty. In one photograph shot in London, Harry seemed blank, lost in contemplation, with a glassy and unfocused countenance. It wasn't simply a terrible angle. It seems that the individual was deeply alienated from his surroundings. Whispers of a recurrence have spread among royal circles. Long before his marriage to Meghan, Harry admitted to taking drugs and alcohol to cope with stress, ranging from his mother's death to the crushing demands of royal life. In his biography, he talked of utilizing psychedelics and cannabis to escape reality and feel something. Now, royal critics are wondering if those old behaviors are making an unwanted return. There is no formal confirmation confirmation. No smoking gun. The quiet, however, speaks volumes. When Harry is doing well, he is visible. He does interviews, makes public appearances, and speaks from the heart. Recently, that version of Harry has vanished. In his place is someone somber, hesitant, and strangely out of step with his surroundings. Insiders have gone so far as to label it a personal crisis, indicating that the burden of failing businesses, public scrutiny, and a broken marriage may be pushing him to the brink. Whether it's tiredness, relapse, or emotional burnout, one thing is clear. The prince who once fled the royal court for freedom is now a man who others worry is escaping himself. When Meghan Markle debuted American Riviera Orchard, she described it as a mix of rustic elegance and Duchess-approved grandeur. But what was intended to be a triumphant comeback to the spotlight rapidly turned into a cautionary story of branding gone bad. The rollout was not just disappointing, it was chaotic and ambiguous, leaving many questioning what the brand actually stood for. From the outset, the launch felt rushed. Products such as dried flower sprinkle jars and high-end fruit spreads came unexpectedly with little explanation and even less link to Meghan herself. Fans were promised exclusivity, but what they received felt like a clumsily disguised attempt at artificial scarcity. Items were listed sold out within seconds of the store opening, not due to a buying frenzy, but rather to what insiders believe was a controlled switch to imitate demand. It was a marketing ploy that immediately backfired. Food critics were also outspoken. Jam specialists criticized the dubious texture, ineffective use of pectin, and commonly farmed components, which conflicted with the premium image. Donna Collins, a well-known preserves expert, referred to the product as failed jam in a pretty jar. This was a devastating setback for a business that prided itself on superior quality. Even Meghan's once loyal followers started to lose patience. The brand's design, which consisted of subdued tones and overused Pinterest-style typefaces, resembled a recycled mood board rather than a real statement of identity. With no defined objective, no consistent message, and declining public interest, American Riviera Orchard increasingly seems a vanity endeavor, attempting to remain relevant. More than just an economic blunder, Meghan's brand failure indicates a deeper issue, a lack of control over the story she previously successfully crafted. As the things lay unsold and the praise fades, what remains is the impression of a duchess clinging to a role that no longer suits. Buckingham Palace has stayed notoriously mute in the face of mounting speculation about Meghan and Harry's deteriorating public image. There are no press statements, no rebuttals. There are no traces of intervention. But behind those stone walls and locked doors, experts believe there is genuine anxiety, particularly from King Charles himself. According to royal advisors, the king has been discreetly observing the situation for some months. While he has frequently been chastised for his emotional distance, many close to him claim that Harry's present situation has greatly shook him. Despite the years of friction and public backlash, Charles remains a father first, and witnessing his younger son's downward slide, from strained appearances to murmurs of drug usage, has left him feeling both powerless and devastated. There are even whispers that Charles has continued to financially assist Harry despite Meghan and Harry's previous claims of being cut off. If accurate, this behind-the-scenes funding might be the only reason their California lifestyle has not entirely crumbled. However, indications indicate that support is dwindling. The king is under increasing pressure, not just from royal advisors, but also from the British public to quit subsidizing what many regard as a self-inflicted calamity. The issue, however, extends beyond money. For Charles, it's about legacy. The monarchy has endured scandals, divorces, and abdications. However, a contemporary prince unraveling in plain sight, bound by a floundering company and a strained marriage, offers a unique threat. It is not only Harry's reputation at danger, it is the institutions. And so Charles waits, watching silently, hoping things would improve, but bracing for the risk that they won't. Those acquainted with palace dynamics believe the king has reached a breaking point of his own. The desire to safeguard his kid is incompatible with the obligation to protect the crown. And in that quiet fight, the monarchy finds itself holding its breath, uncertain if this is just a rough patch or the beginning of something permanent. What began as a hopeful escape from royal limitations has now morphed into something neither Meghan nor Harry can readily manage. The brand is struggling, the marriage appears to be strained, and the public is watching with concern rather than admiration. Meghan's emotional video wasn't merely a branding blunder, it was a rare look behind the curtain. What about Harry's remote, bland presence? Even the palace can't ignore the alarms that are going off. This is not about jam jars or Instagram aesthetics anymore. It's about two folks who left a crown behind and now find themselves themselves lost without it. The indicators are all there: emotional weariness, public bewilderment, and increasing personal stress. If this is their rock bottom, the following step is more important than ever. Do they persist playing roles that they've outgrown? Or will they eventually halt, contemplate, and face the maelstrom they've both contributed to create? Because innovation will not come from another product launch or rehearsed performance. It will stem from something they have long avoided: responsibility. The decision is theirs, but time is running short. The world is still watching.